Hey everyone, Waddler-D. We're back for more Kirby's Dream Land 2 Deluxe for the Nintendo Game Boy Color, and I solidified on my decision. The reason being is KKZero has done a marvelous job making this game look like it was meant to be on this system, because everything has been in such grand spectrum of colors, yet looking very Kirby-ish. Can't complain about that, and it's definitely a step up from Kirby's Dream Land 2 on the Super Game Boy, but there are a few things that kind of bug me. I'll discuss those if we run into them. However, it seems that King Dedede has decided to step himself up into Rainbow Islands as well, and as a result, he's bought himself a castle thanks to all the money that he got from Kirby wrecking his old one. I mean, insurance policies are pretty premium when you have Puffball wrecked my shit as one of the line items. However, is Dark Castle as good as Mount Dedede in terms of music? I'll give that a pass. And what the hell were you doing sleeping there? Now, the thing that I have to applaud KKZero for is this is probably the best looking palette of all the worlds we've been in, because I really like how there's a shade of gray and white mixed together, and the purple is menacing yet regal, and I feel that's probably one of the best parts about what KKZero done here, because it could have just been what was done back in Super Game Boy Land, but this is pretty damn awesome looking for a setting. And this level, while having probably the most doors, doesn't take too much of your time, unlike, say, fricking Cloudy Park and the whole whirlwind of bullcrap. This is more of an interesting gimmick that you won't figure out what's going on until Stage 4 rolls around. But first off, you get with more platform panicking, where you have to run across bridges that just don't want to stick together, so it kind of reminded me of my living arrangements currently. More to the point, though, this place gets kind of rough. Like, right now it's seeming pretty easy. Everyone's just taking their la-di-da time trying to kill Kirby, and I mean, they're sicking kids on me. What the hell, game? But more to the point, we're going to be dealing with the cooler side of this place very soon. And it all starts with this auto-scrolling section. This first spot is a trap. If you grab this star, pray to goodness that you can get up here without getting skewered on that top spike or anything below that, because, well, no, do not even try that, buddies. Oh, good God, man. Yeah, you saw that invincibility frames when you inhale something? Just keep that in mind. But more importantly, let's talk about what happens when you get to the end of each of these stages. You get a nice little reminder of the things that you've been kicking around all game. And Ifrit is honestly one of those mini-bosses I wouldn't mind seeing again, but he's just so middle of the road it kind of hurts. I mean, he's got cool-looking attacks. He's got a cool look to him altogether, but that's all he can really say for himself. He's not very impressive as a mini-boss. And he's not really going to stick to your memory all that much, but he will give you burning, and that's always a fine ability to have at your disposal. And that's kind of how these levels are going to roll. There's going to always be a mini-boss at the end. You're going to have some pretty unique challenges to a degree. It's not going to be all auto-scrolling, thank God, but the second stage is going to remind you why water sucks, because it's going to drop you right in. Then you're going to see these Waddler-Ds just completely die in front of you, which is kind of alarming. And these little gunk shooting bastards are going to try to egg you as you go through the spot. So hopefully you kept burning to make that section a little less rough. But if you lose it, just prepare to try not to get hit. Game, are you actually depriving me of Cutter for some specific reason? Because that's not an ability. I would love to be Gordo as an ability, but instead, let's get rid of this and use something a little bit more frosty, because ice is what I would recommend, mainly because you have to deal with enemies that want to get in your way, and it just makes the job so much easier. What else makes things easier is this next room. You see all those 1-ups? We're going to be able to get them, but right now we got to take the top door. and discuss what's going on here, because this is a unique room. Because this is the only room with an animal buddy you can enter, and I do not want to talk about you yet. Please be Rick. That is not Rick. Let me see if I can actually get Rick. Give me Rick. That is much better. Fortunately for Rick, I gotta trash talk him, because Rick is probably the worst animal buddy in this game, unfortunately. The fact that his only strength is walking really fast, and that's it. Like, he's not great in the water. He has probably some of the worst abilities in the game, and he doesn't really have some of the attributes that make him stand out more in a later game. And his only projectile abilities kinda sucks, because he's reduced to basically being a standing target, or a moving target, which not very helpful, but at least Cutter is good with him. However, this guy right here, Master Green, is probably one of the best mini-bosses in the game. He's second in my heart, and the reason being is that he's just so diverse in his move pool, and he has quite an interesting unpredictableness to him, so he can take you by surprise, but unfortunately, he can also take your time if you don't have an ability in hand, so keep that in mind as to why he is not the best mini-boss in the game. But as a electrified jellyfish that looks like Squishy's older, meaner cousin, doing a damn good job showing off Spark, and having Spark is also a good damn ability. I mean, you already seen Kine and Rick use it pretty well. And Rick, we're gonna have to say goodbye, man. It's nice knowing you, but we're gonna have to move on to greener pastures here, and by that I mean we're gonna go outside again and deal with the Kaboo mess. Like, these Kaboos are probably the worst part about this level in this section, because they will just come out of thin air and make your life a little bit miserable. But once you get past that mess of enemies, the game's like, okay, fine, more Gordos. You love Gordos, right? Oh. And these enemies, too. I mean, we've seen Bouncy T, I believe this enemy's name is, so many times. However, this is the worst auto-scroller minus. Yeah, this is the worst room in the game. You just don't know it yet. All I gotta say is remember this layout very closely. Like, remember it start to finish, because it will come to bite you if you do not. Also, there are also propeller bombs in this area. You may have saw the slight green out of the corner of your eye. So if you bring a partner in here, you're gonna have to get harassed by them while you're getting through this auto-scrolling mess. More to the point, though. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? Take that. Good, good, good. Watch out for this guy. That freaking cutter can end you, because it can possibly smack you right back down in that little cove below. Oh, what's up? How you doing, Mr. Frosty? And then you can get crushed. I also love how Cutter hits things when it hits the wall. And I'm frozen. Shit. Now, about Mr. Frosty, he's kind of an underwhelming representation of himself. He actually came from Kirby's Adventure, and right now he is just chucking ice at my face. Why don't you use your more... Oh, well, I'm regretting my trash talk, and let's just say goodbye to you. I just am kind of sad that Mr. Frosty gets a total of 2 times to try to kick Kirby's ass, and while the ice breath is pretty sweet to have as a secondary... a second showing of him, it's kind of one too less, or one too little, and makes me kind of forget about him altogether. It's kind of deplorable, because ice is a great ability, and Mr. Frosty, when he fixes his damn pants, can be quite a pleasant sight. At least he's like a lovable dork that you just want to smack around a little bit harder when you see him. Now the gimmick of this world comes into true showing when you enter stage 4. Doesn't this look familiar? Yeah, it's like the first stage, except it's mirrored, and that's where it starts to get a little bit more scary, because that means the enemies here are much scarier, like Masher, Butch, where's Blade? There he is. Yeah, they're all here to greet you on ledges, and Sir Kibble has always been a thorn in my side. Like, oh, that is a dick move, game. I really hope you don't have Rick there, because that's gonna kill you. Especially if you have ice, because... Oh, you might be able to be fine with that. No, I'm gonna actually switch back to Cutter, because I was praising ice all this time, but I honestly think Cutter might have an edge on the ice. And this room should be familiar as always, except reversed, and that star is still down there, but I highly recommend not wasting your life trying to grab that, because if you miss, and you only collect one star, well, that's a lost life. I highly doubt you want to try to grind stars here, because, I mean, one and done? No thank you. However, we get to meet Wow. I really hope I'm saying this guy's name right, but Wow is just a pleasure to fight. This is one of the best mini-bosses in the game, and to some degree the series. Like, he has the most interesting attacks, and he has Flash Kick, which blocks your shots, which means he's a very strategic guy. And another great thing about him is he doesn't waste your time. Like, you can kick his ass real fast, and he gives you Cutter. What more can you say about that? That's easily one of the best things you can throw at a player. Like, this mini-boss that frickin' knows how to do guile moves? What the hell? More to the point, I really hope to see him in future games. Like, come on, it's a ninja. Let him have the ninja ability. It's so simple, yet you're not doing it, Nintendo and HAL. Alright, Stage 5 is going to be pretty much the reverse of Stage 2, except with even more water and even more enemies and Gordos. Thankfully, the Gordos are not too present, but damn, the fish and frogs are trying to make my life miserable here. Okay, maybe they're starting to get back. No. Tick. That was a Cutter I was going to try to take with me. Now we get a nice reverse of this room, and of course the Gordo's still trapped in jail for some reason. I'm gonna grab Burning for one reason only, because this next room, it's all full of Gordos, but thankfully, well, there's the end of that. Maybe not. But more to the point, look at this room. Yep, it's more like the same, but there's a catch, and I'll explain that catch. But first, let's go up here, rescue one of our friends that's Blaze protecting. Oh, dude, all that's freaking acrobatics, and I know, as much as I like you, bud, we gotta talk about your other friend, the one that can fly. Come on, give me Ku. One more time for the road, please. There we go. Thank you, buddy. So Ku, without a doubt, best partner in the game. There is no contest. Like, the fact that Ku can freaking fly is one positive already, but he is also the fastest partner in the game. Like, if you just hammer the A button, he's moving twice as fast as everybody else. This is how you get those 1-ups, because as you saw, the room inverted them over to the other side, but you can just do this twice and get not 3, but 6 lives. And this is the best room in the game, and just best stage in general to grind lives, because it's not long, it's not hard, but it can mess you up a little bit. However, we're going to use Cutter to just even those odds real fast, because honestly, why would you skip on Cutter? Damn it, can I stop running to explosions? I'm supposed to walk away from them, Kirby. And then we get greeted with probably one of the most underwhelming mini-bosses in the games. Blocky is just so lame. Like, all he does is charges towards you. The only thing that I like about him, about his charges towards you, is that he's smart enough to turn around. But when he starts like, look at this. That's kind of cool. Most mini-bosses just ram themselves into a wall stupidly, letting you get all the hits that you can possibly think of, like he just did right there. I also like that when he does his job with the run charges towards you, he stops. Most bosses are like, I don't care, I'm gonna run in that wall and just hurt myself all day, every day. But sadly, Blocky is a really boring mini-boss, and 6th place in my heart. No fun. Alright, cool. Let's try to get some champagne for the road, bud, because you done good, but we gotta drop you. It's all Kirby from here. Stage 6. If you remember this whole symmetry matter, it gets absolutely frightening here, because remember where you're going right to left. That's happening here. The game is actually being very apologetic by giving me more than 7 stars and a 1-up. So that just gives me a bad vibe right off the bat. And of course it doesn't stop there. Look at all these freaking Gordos trying to murder me. Jesus. Seriously, game? And then you enter the worst room in the game. I highly, highly hope you remember this layout, because if you don't, that happens. You get shoved into a dead end that literally kills you. So remember the layout, which is up. And you can grab stars to make up for the damage that you've taken dramatically and psychologically. And then you want to stick to the low road. And there is no, like, code to this room. Don't think that these enemies are trying to teach you, hey, you should go to that route that has that enemy. You'll be fine. Kinda tricks you here with that, because these 2 rows are fully fine. But then it throws a sword guy, and you're like, okay, I guess I better follow the sword guy. And then you'll find out that's a terrible decision, because you're gonna die right there. So remember this room, this auto-scroller's layout, or you're going to get pinched a whole... What was... Okay, did they... What was with that? They dropped a bird on spikes, and I don't understand why. That was... Is this Dark Castle's true terror? It's like killing chicks when you aren't looking. And speaking of bosses for spikes, this guy is pretty much the premier of Needle. Like, this is what Needle should have maybe considered being, because the invincibility frames of this Gordo wannabe, plus the whole interestingly quick speed that he has, not to mention the invincibility, if I haven't mentioned that before. And launching needles. Why can't I do that with Needle, huh? Why can't I make Needle into a projectile? Sadly, that's all we can speak of him, because he gives you this god-awful ability, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like, he's cool, he's formidable, he's actually what I would like to call a mini-boss, but... Man... he's kind of a jerk. He gives you just crap for beating him. And that is pretty much all the symmetry that you're going to be experiencing in this level, because the last one is all about its own gimmick. And you want to start off jumping, because they pretty much stick you on a collapsible platform, which is kind of dickish. But one thing you might want to keep in mind, you might want to consider bringing someone along for the ride, because, as you can see, would have been helpful, but sadly we do not have Kine, because this room would be screaming out his name. And we're also not going to participate on this little puzzle right now, because I don't see the need. I mean, we're at the game. Why would we even bother with this? I mean, look at all these Waddle-Ds just chilling out in this room in a very weird manner. And it continues, because you're going to have Mumbies trying to hug you all close with their wrappings, and then of course you can't have a final area without more Gordos trying to skewer you. Oh god, this room actually is kind of scary. Jeez, man. Yeah, that room is... Oh, nice little reference to World 4 and the frickin' Icicle Squad that kind of fell on my head numerous times. And last but not freaking least, Room Hatters doing their job. They're just trying to keep... Heck! Okay, that was... Okay, you know what, Jumper Shoot? This is why you're the worst boss in the game. You had to get a freaking sucker punch, or I guess sucker kick, first thing in this freaking level, just so you can make things even up to everyone else, because you are... he's doing his job. Like, he's showing off what Paracel can do in the right hands, but seriously, throwing his shoe, that's how he's fought. Not my favorite mini-boss, and unfortunately, Paracel has seen better days, so we're gonna just wave goodbye to this crap and do the rest of Dark Castle, because we are officially done with all the normal stages in this game. And that big black door opens up to a very interesting change to the boss logic. The hell? Yeah. It doesn't start off with a boss fight. It starts off with a ominous room, followed by a really tight space. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll bring my freaking buddy Koo and Cutter, have fun with that space, because he ain't making through there. So this battle has to be fought by Kirby. And it's King Dedede. And are you sleeping? What the hell is this? So yeah, King Dedede is apparently taking a frickin' noon, or like, yeah, he's on a siesta break apparently, and he's not being very threatening at the moment. He's in fact reminding me of how he was back in the old days. Pretty underwhelming at the moment. I mean, he's doing all his attacks, so that's good, and he's jumping into me, that's also good. However, that all changes when he whips out the hammer, just throws it at you. And yes, those stars do hurt. This is King Dedede's, one of his better fights. Like, it's low-key one of the best old-school King Dedede fights because of this rage mechanic. And that is the worst attack in the game, because it's so damn hard to dodge. You have to dodge the explosion that he shoots out, and you cannot grab the star that... Oh god, you were immediately on there again. Jeez. Yeah, King Dedede will wreck your crap if you are not prepared. This is easily one of the hardest fights in the game, and I'm getting destroyed. Ah, man, I didn't get any of that. And once he gets angry for the first time, he will continue to get angry every hit. I'm dead, aren't I? Yep. Interesting how it kills you like that. So, strategy. Treat this like this was extra game Dedede from the first game, because Dedede is very much on fire when he's mad. And see how he just did 2 freaking trips? Like, he tripped twice. That's something he doesn't always do, but he will sometimes take you off guard with it. So, he can't even rest when he's, like, halfway dead inside. Oh. Where the hell was that? Like, he like, slammed his hammer and somehow smacked me with it. Uh-oh, here it comes. So stay far away from those that exploding hammer. One thing I have noticed is that he seems to have a pattern that he follows pretty closely the first time through. Like, he always leads off with the mega trip. Oh, dick. Okay, good. I'm glad to see that you have defense. One nice thing is that if you have since you get invincibility frames when you're inhaling something, that will provide some protection when you're trying to get some ammo to beat his ass, but King Dedede can mess you up really fast if you're not careful, especially with that inhale, man. That inhale with this projectile. What did I just say? Like, the inhaling just can come out of nowhere. Dick. Can I get that star? No, I guess I can. But once you get down to low health, that means you only have to deal with that one last time, I would say. And I like that the mechanic only boots up when you hit him. Like, once he's just chilling, getting all sleepy. Oh god, please don't hit me and end my life again. Jeez. King Dedede is trying to kill me. Oh, good, good. Yeah, when he throws a hammer, do not get fooled. That just means he's just using it as a normal attack right now. Okay, I'm going to finish you off. And we're done, King Dedede. Nice fight. We'll try to do this again sometime. Kirby? Why is he not moving? Kirby, why are you celebrating this? You just killed your rival. Wow, Kirby, you're cruel. And it seems that I have gotten what happens when you don't get all the rainbow drops. You get the bad ending. and there are only 3 Kirby games in the main series that gives you bad endings. This one, Kirby's Dream Land 3, and Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. And I kind of like how they give you the cast instead of the credits for beating the game on normally. It's like, it's just a disappointing, underwhelming ending. It's like, dude, you tried your best, but you didn't do everything. But it doesn't matter. Kine does not accept you. He is pissed. He's also pissed that you didn't use him in that last level, fool. And you get to see Lord Kibble. I guess it's probably supposed to say Lord Kibble, but yeah, that's an A, buds. So, to make things very clear, Kirby games do not end like this. Most Kirby games will have a fantastic finale, except for one particular game which I will trash in the future, but most Kirby games are going to have something to talk about once you're done with the adventure, but you have to earn them in this one and the next 2. Well, if you don't count Superstar as the next 2, or one of the next 2. So, we're gonna go right back to the game in the next video, and correcting my stupid mistake by... Well, I want you to see this at least, because this gave me a lot of motivation to go back and see what the hell this thing is, because that's the true foe. Not to mention, the game just rubs salt on the wounds, like, Kine's like, dude, you could have used me in that last level, fool. You could have figured out what the hell you have to do to get that damn rainbow drop, And then it ends with just a rainy sky over Dreamland. Just a sad state of affairs. So we're going to correct my mistake and show you the actual good ending. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and adios.